to my channel Elucidate. Today, at this point of time on 30th of Jan 10 p.m., I have brought you a new lecture which is known as Try, Catch and Finally Block Combinations. And why I have brought, because onto my lecture, onto my series, Java series, I'm not picking each and every topic. I'm picking just most important topics because people are able to understand, but they are not able to give answers of those important topics, right? So for that, this is a very important topic, and everybody I think who is learning Java should be having in-depth knowledge of all these things, right? So onto this particular lecture, we are going to understand what try, catch, and finally block combinations are. Because recently onto an interview, it was being asked to one of your freshers or even experienced guy having 3 to 4 years of experience. It was asked that can we have two catch blocks simultaneously, one after the another, and that guy got confused, right? It was just we told that, let's say in first catch block we have a child class exception and then parent class exception, and he was totally his concept was totally shattered of try and catch, because normally it's not anybody's fault. We normally just use try and catch, one simple block only, right? We do not use try catch catch catch, and we do not use try 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 catch catch catch, right? I hope you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to say, right? So even before trying to understand how to handle an exception, you guys need to have an idea of what exceptions are all about. So for that, I have given a very detailed explanation. It is a 30 minutes kind of a lecture where we have tried to understand what handling is all about, what are different types of exceptions, and some interview questions, right? So please go through it if you have some time, and and because if you go through it, you just have some basic background, right? So now coming back to the our current topic, can we use them all alone? So there are different combinations of try, catch, and finally block, right? So nine combinations are as of now possible, and even you can create more than that, right? I'm not going to into that detail, but at least these nine are possible. And if any interview question comes from these nine blocks, you are able to give the answer. And I hope at the end of the lecture, not you would be able to give the answer, you would be able to even explain them, what it is all about. And this is what important, this is what all is important, right? Okay, so first we will try to understand that this is a question that was being asked: can we use only try block? Can it happen that you can only use try block in Java? So before coming to Java, first try to understand everything in terms of your normal life example. First relate even coding to your normal life, then your coding life would be much easier. Okay, so try basically means that you are going to try something onto your life, right? And if you are trying something for the first time or for the second time or for n number of times, there are going to be some sort of outcomes. Either you will pass or either you will fail, right? So trying basically means that in your normal life, in the same code goes with Java, the same scenario, I mean, falls with Java as well, right? It basically means that there is some sort of error in some piece of code, and we are just trying that. But before going to Java, first try to understand in normal life. So this is what example, or what it normally means, that what try basically means. If you try for something in your life, either you are going to succeed or either you are going to fail, right? You cannot say that I have got something even before trying it, right? You become a software engineer once you try or get a a BTech degree, once you try to opt for a computer science, right? If you do not even go or try for your computer science, I don't think that you would be able to get to any final destination of becoming a software engineer, right? You may become to some extent, but that is a totally different concept, right? What does catch means? You cannot catch anything in your normal life, a thing which is not flying in air, right? If a ball is flying in air, then you can only catch it. If you are holding something, you will say that I am holding this particular ball in my hand. You will not say that I am catching this particular ball. If a ball is flying, or it is flying through a projectile motion, and if you come in between that projectile and you simply catch the ball, then you will say that I've caught this particular ball, right? So first you write something into your normal life, and then you can say that if a ball is flying, then you can catch it, right? And what does finally means? This is very important. let's say you are sitting onto your home, right? let's say let's say you are sitting on your home, right? And after some time you immediately stand up from your couch and you say that finally I have arrived my home. And as soon as you say this, guys, believe me, the person sitting next to you is going to give you a very tight kick, right? Because he will say that, what do you mean by saying finally? You already are sitting onto your home. So finally basically means that, it means that finally, initially you went somewhere else, and then in the mid time you went somewhere else, and finally you have reached your home. So this is the basic definition of trying something on your life. This is basic definition of catching something onto your life, and this is, a basic idea of finally, right? Now we are going to try to understand in terms of Java. So in Java, try basically means we are going to, try a particular block of code. Why we are going to try a particular block of code? Because we may think that, that block of code may give some sort of error. That's why we are going to make use of a try block over there, right? And once we try it over there, then we go for catching that particular exception in the catch block, right? How to resolve that? And once we try to resolve that into that catch block, then your normal flow of execution of your program will won't get disturbed, right? And after that, there is a finally block, which basically means that, this, you tried something and you caught that exception, and finally this is what you are willing to give an output for that, right? So we'll try to understand it even more, and even much better with the help of a demo. Just be with me, and at the end of the lecture you'll be able to understand each and every concept. Okay, so let's go with the demo over here. This is a typical example of a, this is a class named as try catch. I'm creating just an a method, let's say test method. Okay, and onto this particular test method, what I'm going to do is that, let's say I'm going to take an integer a equals 1 and integer b equals, let's say, 0, and integer c equals a slash b, which means that I'm dividing 1 by 0, which means that, I would be getting some sort of an error, right? Because any number divided by 0 will give you an infinity, right? And I'm just going to print it out over here, let's say c. Okay, creating an object of this class over here, try catch, let's say tc equals new try catch. Just pay a very close attention, and then tc dot test, right? If I run it, am I going to get some sort of error? Tc over here. So it is saying that, there is some sort of exception being caught over here, which says that exception in thread main, arithmetic exception divided by 0, right? It is giving some sort of arithmetic exception, right? So since an exception has occurred over here, so now we are going to resolve it with the help of try catch blocks. And yeah, we are going to understand, different combinations of try block over here. I'll just quickly cover it everything over here, right? So let's do with, if we know that, this particular piece of code is going to give some sort of error, right? So can we put it into a try block? Let's say I'm putting it inside a try block. See, I've kept it inside a try block, and now I'm going to catch some sort of exception over here. Catch, let's say, exception e. This is my catch block, right? SYSO, catching the exception, right? So this line would surely give you some sort of error because it has given over here. And now we have, resolved this exception with the help of try catch. If I just print it out over here, it's going to give that catching the exception, right? So this is how a normal flow has not been, disturbed, and it is working fine as of now, right? The control of the flow of execution is working fine. Okay, so this is a very simple example of, a try and catch, right? Now can we try this particular scenario in which, there are multiple catch, and in the first catch there is child class, and in the second catch there is a parent class exception, right? So this is try that we have already done it, right? Let's do another catch over here, and please pay very careful attention, right? This time, let's say I'm doing arithmetic exception, right? Why it is giving me error? It is already saying that it is already handled by the catch block for exception, and it is giving me error, right? The reason being over here is that if the parent class exception is present onto your first catch block, right, then it will immediately start showing you the error over here, because this is your parent class. It is already going to capture all the exception over here, but this is not making sense over here. I hope you are able to understand. If your parent is, in your normal life, if parent is doing something, then your parents are capable of handling everything, right? Then why their children's after that, are doing that? Just a normal example. So unreachable catch block for arithmetic exception, it is already handled by the catch block for exception, right? So this block is already being handling it. Then why are you are going for this particular catch block? Those who have not understand, let me give you an example. Let's say somebody has, hit a ball for a particular six, right? Let's say Chris Gale has hit a ball for a six, and if over here, let's say Sachin has caught the ball. So those who know, who are able to understand what cricket is all about. So let's say Sachin has already caught the ball, right? So can anyone else come over here and say that, some person also, another guy of the same cricket team has caught the ball? Can we write this that Virat has also caught the ball of this game? Can it happen? Does it make sense? It will not make sense in your normal life as well. Why? Because this ball has already been caught by Sachin. Let's say I'm just giving a very normal example, right? So once a ball has been caught by one person, how can you again try to catch that ball again? Can it happen? No, it never can happen, right? Some edge case scenarios are there where one person, has, uh, put the ball or thrown in air. That is a different thing. But normal life, if one person has caught the ball, then it means that that cricketer is simply out. Then this person cannot claim that I also has caught the ball. In the same way, in the Java as well, once this exception has already been caught over here, this arithmetic exception has already been caught over here by your parent, class. Then why? What is the need of making child class of exception, trying to catch that exception? I hope you guys are able to understand, or you are familiar. See, exception is your parent class, and null pointer, arithmetic, array index, illegal state, concurrent, and runtime, all these are child classes of this parent class, right? So if this parent class is already present over here, it has the ability to catch all the exceptions. So there is no need of this child scenario over here, right? But reverse can happen. If child is present over here, then parent class can come over here. If you want to just have a look over here, see, and now over parent over here, right? So this can be done if in the first catch block the parameter is of type child class, and then in the second catch block the parameter that is present over here is of the parent class. Then that can be done, but reverse cannot be done, right? So we have covered this block, and this block, right? And can we have, a same child class exception onto this catch block? Let's try to understand. So these are, child classes of parent class exception. Can we do that? Can it happen? No, it will not happen. So this is not allowed in Java, right? So this is not allowed. Okay. But child classes of two different types of child classes. One is, let's say, arithmetic exception, another one, let's say, null pointer exception. That can happen for sure, right? So I'm just giving you an example over here, null pointer exception, right? So this can happen. This is allowed. So this block is allowed. If somebody asks you that is this block allowed, in which, First catch block is having child class and then same child class. No, this is not allowed. But can it happen? Yes, it can happen, right? And inside a try catch, can we have another try catch inside a try block? Yes, we can have. Can I give you an example? Yes, I can give you an example for that as well. Right? Let's say I am going to try. I am hoping that these two lines are gonna give me some sort of error. So I'm trying over here something and now I'm going to catch because I have tried and now I am catching something. Let's say exception, right? And just printing it over here, inner catch, let's say, and just try to print what. Let's see what happens. See, error was coming over here. We tried these two lines of code, at least especially this line of code. We caught the exception over here. Then these two catches are not making any sense. Once Sachin has taken catch, you cannot say that again Yuvraj did the same catch and again Virat did the same catch. Nobody is doing a time travel kind of thing over here, right? So you can just compare it with your normal life. This is the way I am trying to make you understand so that you're able to understand the concept. Rest, everything remains the same, right? The same thing can happen with your try inside your catch. You can another again have a try catch block over here, right? So this kind of block of code can also be present over here, so you guys can try it for yourself. I am not giving you the example for that as well because it will make the lecture even more bigger, right? And so now try catch and finally, so once you have done try, once you have done some catch, and now you can do your finally, which means that I am going to print something over here. So this is allowed in Java. Finally, let's say, right? So in try, what was happening? Please try to understand over here. In try, what was happening? Chris Gale trying to hit a six, right? I am going to make it like setting, catching the catch, let's say, and finally Chris Gale is out. So this is what happens in your normal cricketing life. This is what happens when you try, or when you try for giving for your UPSC exam, or let's say you're trying to become a para commando, or get selected onto your uh, onto your Indian Army. While preparing for those things, some exceptions may occur for that. Even if you are not becoming para commando, let's say you have become an Indian Navy officer, for example, let's say, and finally you are serving your nation or your country, right? This is what happens in normal life. This is what is happening in Java life as well. Just print it out over here, right? So Sachin catching the catch, and this was an exception over here, so there is no need because exception occurred over here. So this line won't be printed. Those who are skeptical, कि भाई चला क्यों नहीं, and this kind of stuff. Let me show you again over here. See, unresolved compilation program, right? So this is some sort of error over here. So this line is going to give you an arithmetic exception for sure, those who are able to understand. But my scope is totally defined with try catch block combination, so I'm not going into that level of detail, right? So we tried something over here, we are catching something over here, and we are finally printing something over here, right? So Sachin is doing the catch and finally is out. So these are the various possible combination that you can look out, and this is your try with finally. Yes, you can try. If you are not catching, then again you can make use of finally as well. Again, those who are skeptical, see. So finally, Chris Gale is out, right? And now it is saying that Sachin has got the ball of the Chris Gale. I don't know where it is printing right now. I really do not have any idea. Okay, over here it is printing, right? So once this my try got completed, okay, once my this try inner try got completed, this catch exception was followed, and then this was not printed because initially this exception was already catch. So actually I was working onto an inner loop, so that's why I got confused. So finally, this will be getting printed over here because you are not hitting your catch block. And once this block is being done, this try and finally is being done, again there has to be a catch block, because try, catch and finally cannot work all in alone. So this catch block is executed first, and since it has executed first, there is no need for running this. If Sachin has taken the catch, there is no need for Virat to come and claim that he also has taken the same catch, right? So no time travel concept over here. So guys, I hope I have made some sense, and if you are not able to understand the way I have described, please let me know onto my comment section. I will try to make it understand even in more deeper, or even in more technical terms I can go, right? But the whole agenda is to understand the different possible combinations, so that's why I have related it to your normal life. Okay, so thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience. Thanks a lot.